Does your right to travel overrule the requirement for a driver's license? A lot of sovereign citizens seem to think so. I've done a lot of research into this, and I think I've come up with a pretty good answer. Stick around. I have for you here a video in which a man was pulled over for driving 72 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. That's illegal. But when the officer asks the driver for his license and registration, the driver says a license isn't required to travel. Is he correct? Before we get into that argument, I do want to establish some facts. The right to travel first appeared in the Articles of Confederation, which were adopted by the Continental Congress in 1777 and fully ratified in 1781. It stated that the people of each state shall have free ingress and egress to and from any other state. When the United States Constitution replaced the Articles of Confederation in 1789, it didn't include the right to travel. What it did have was the Privileges and Immunities Clause, which stated, "The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all the privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states." And it wasn't until Corfield versus Coryell in 1823 that the Supreme Court ruled, "The rights of a citizen of one state to pass through or to reside in any other states are, strictly speaking, privileges and immunities." After that, and up until the early 20th century, the right to travel was only really discussed in court as being across state lines. But in 1920, that changed. United States versus Wheeler led to this little nugget. "In the United States, the citizens thereof possess the fundamental right to move at will from place to place therein, and to have free ingress thereto and egress therefrom." I have no idea why this is the voice, but it is. So, yes, we can establish that we have the right to travel, but do we have the right to travel in a car? Yes, if you're a passenger. If you're a driver, that's a different story. In Reitz versus Mealy, the Supreme Court ruled, "The use of the public highways by motor vehicles with its consequent dangers renders the reasonableness and necessity of regulations apparent. The universal practice is to register ownership of automobiles and to license their drivers. Any appropriate means adopted by the states to ensure competence and care on the part of its licensees and to protect others using the highway is consonant with due process." Well, that's pretty clear, and there's no Supreme Court ruling that really contradicts it. Although I do encourage you to look. Before anyone comments that a person must be operating in commerce for the term driver to apply, don't worry. That will be the topic of another video. Until then, this is the outcome of the stop.
The opportunity to read. Whoa. This is assault. This is assault. This is police brutality.
I'm fixing
Stop.
to
This is police brutality. I haven't done anything.
In conclusion, don't make poor life choices. And until the next time, be good and stay safe.